Happy Wednesday. Happy Halloween. Someone's already saying it's glorious, and it is. Welcome to Archetype, sponsored by Dell. As you can see, I am not alone today. It's going to be awesome. Right next to me on this side, I'm not even going to guess which screen side, left or right that is, because I'm bad at it. We have Colleen, and I want her to say hi and introduce herself. And so this is a nice special archetype. So welcome, Colleen. Hello.
Thanks. It's nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
I guess I can give a little overview of myself. Good.
Tell them all the things that you do. Tell them, yes.
I'm a senior character artist at Naughty Dog. I've been in the industry for about 7 years. And previously I was at PlayStation Visual Arts. And recently shipped The Last of Us Part 1 last year, and then The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020.
So you have before you an ultimate badass is pretty much what we're talking to here, which is awesome. Yes, super cool. No, it's such cool projects to be a part of, and I know you shared before on your Instagram and stuff that like Naughty Dog was one special place to be. You know, it's where you really wanted to go to. And I remember, I think you showed like a little letter that you had when you were a kid, which I absolutely love. It's so cool. She has like a letter of like, Naughty Dog, I love your games, and here she is.
I wrote it, but never sent it.
That's so awesome.
How I actually like kept it all these years, like how it ended up, you know, still in my possession after all this time. But yeah, it was pretty special to dig that up, and yeah, like
it's super cool. I always love seeing stories like that, and wherever that's always the fun part about the art industry is when you get to know people and seeing what their stories and how they came to be. It's always so unique to see like how young were you, or you know, how late were you getting into it, because it's always so new and interesting.
It's always different.
Super cool. It is. It's always super different.
Yeah, I love hearing people's journeys. It's like, you know, my favorites are like the people that like completely switched their careers like they were in like some completely different career, and then they were like realized one day like I really want to do this other thing, and then they pursue it and they like do amazing. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you know, and it's never too late to do that thing, and I think that's what's so cool about art is it in a sense, like if you really want to do it, it will be very accessible to you, you know, if you want to go pursue it, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's like just you know, takes a lot of determination, but if you yeah,
it's super cool. Well, I guess I'll explain what we're doing here. So the goal today is we figured we'd do kind of a happy Halloween themed stream. So what we're doing is we've got some kaijus battling it out, but we're gonna have them battling in a costume contest. That's our goal here. So you can see Colleen already got started. I'm a little late on mine, but
I figured I'd head through the like ugliest stages. Well, you know, wouldn't want to bore you guys with that. I did a little.
They've seen all my ugly stages on this stream.
Started with this beautiful Z sphere.
Good old Z spheres, yeah.
But yeah,
it's awesome. Oh, I love when ZBrush makes all my polygroups almost the same color. Thank you.
Oh yeah, super useful.
It's so helpful. It's so useful. Thank you.
I sometimes have to just like Control W until I get a color that I like, you know?
Yeah, I do that same exact thing.
I've got all kinds of fun reference up on my PureRef here. Like, I've got stuff from like Spyro Reignited trilogy.
I love Spyro so much.
Yeah.
I have my little Spyro figure on my desk that sits there at all time.
Where'd you get him?
I think he's a pop figure. I think, cool. Actually. And because Spyro kind of looks like a giant-headed dragon, it doesn't really look like a pop figure, which is why I like it.
Totally.
So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I've got like the Crash 4 and Spyro art books. They're just insanely good.
Is that all the artwork from Nicholas Cole that's in there for the new ones? Oh, man.
Nicholas Cole.
I didn't know they had Oh my god.
That's on both of them are on Amazon.
Need
Get yourself an early Christmas present.
I know. Well, when it comes to art books, you can't say no. Obviously, given the library at the back.
My bookshelf is like, please say no.
Yeah, please don't fill me with a bunch of stuff. Oh, we got a herpetologist, I think, coming in on the chat saying you gave your kaiju a belly button, which means he might not hatch from eggs.
That's true. Good point.
But look here, I mean...
No, I mean, like...
Whatever goes, it's a kaiju, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kaijus are full of weird things.
They really are. They could be...
If you guys have a favorite kaijus, definitely say them out in the chat. Because Godzilla has some of my favorite ones. I mean, Gigan, he's got giant scythe and he's got a buzzsaw in the middle of his chest.
Oh,
I mean, who could say no to that one? Oh, it's great. And then Megalon is he's like a bug with drills for hands. It's amazing.
See,
like,
you know, just could do literally anything.
Anything. So I'm gonna go for belly buttons. Actually, not that extreme.
Yeah, that's pretty much tame in like the.
It's pretty tame, like... exactly. In the realm of kaijus, you're like buzzsaw chest, drill hands, or just giant blob thing that comes out of the ocean. Anything goes. Although we'll be making kind of cuter. My goal is to make a little bit of a cuter guy here.
It's cool to see your block-in process there.
Yeah, so I use if everybody's normal to the stream, they know that I like to use groups with Dynamesh, and I just kind of grab from shapes and just keep building on top of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's just because it makes me feel like I'm grabbing clay more than pushing buttons.
Absolutely.
Anything to feel less technical sometimes, I'm all for.
I'm right
in the
there
realm of 3D. So if I can get this feeling like I'm not, you know, staring at a computer screen while I do it, then I'm pretty happy.
I'm right there with you. Like, I've always kind of preferred or I guess I kind of see like the technical stuff as like a means to an end, you know, more so than like the end itself. The art is always like, for me, the bread and butter, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's where I try to remind, you know, the students and stuff, or people that are just getting into 3D, to not let the 3D control you too much as far as like
exactly
what you can make, and try to think of it more of, you know, it's more of a glorified, intense pen. There's just a lot more buttons.
Yep.
But it's still overall, you know, nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And what I love about it, I think we've talked about this before too, is, you know, if you're like a traditional sculptor and then you just pick up, you know, sculpting in Blender, or, you know, or you pick up ZBrush or something, all those techniques that you have as a traditional artist, they all come back over, you know, it's all applicable.
100%.
I've seen so many of my students, actually, 2 terms ago, I had students that were from Practical Effects taking ZBrush. Yeah, it was super cool. And they were like, man, one of them was like, man, I'm struggling so hard in ZBrush. And she kept going. But she struggled so much with getting files in that like no one got to see her work for the whole term. But then she came in with her final, and it was like this crazy awesome like Anubis sculpture. And everyone was like, whoa, we didn't know you could sculpt like that. And I was like, yeah, she's a practical artist. Like, she knows how to sculpt. It's just working around those buttons.
Dude, that's the thing. It's like, if you can have the like technical stuff, you know, on lock, so you can get that out of your way, it's like, yeah, I feel like that's such a I don't know, like a deterrent for some people, but
it is, yeah. Well, I think someone's asking about your headphones, Colleen. If anybody at the PS5 ones, is that what you have?
Yes, they're pretty good.
Can you give a review? Yeah, they're asking. They're like, ooh,
they're pretty good. I mean, they're like really plug and play. They're really easy to use, and yeah, they just come like with a little dongle. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They look nice. They're so fancy.
Thanks.
So fancy.
They're like medium expensive, you know.
Medium expensive.
And
A lot of them are
that they're, like,
pretty
pretty
expensive, but
too.
I bought these because they were actually the lightest on the market. Because like when you wear headphones for 10 hours a day, you're like, oh man, it's taking a toll on me here.
Totally.
And so I bought these because they seem to be the lightest ones that I could find.
Are those the Sony WH?
What? Yeah, insert weird
X...
number here. Whatever they are.
These same ones?
XK1. Yeah. I really like the color though. Oh yeah. See? I don't
They're
have
great
headphones. I got they are good headphones. I like these a lot. Someone in the chat is saying, someone's asking a question actually. Is ZBrush noticeably easier than Blender? Blender has so many controls that you need to remember just for basic navigation.
No.
In my experience, I feel like if you've never been in 3D, I think it's actually really good to get into Blender first. And I'll tell you why. Because Blender has more like normal 3D program controls. ZBrush, as wonderful as it is very weird. It's very different. There's like this 2.5D thing that you're gonna have to work around. And so it's a little uncomfortable, I think, at first. Whichever one you pick up first, you're gonna be obviously start to get more comfortable with it. But I do think that that's like an important note. That being said, I feel like ZBrush to me is more confusing because it's less like 3D programs, other 3D programs. But if you've never, touched 3D programs, then you might be actually okay, not knowing the difference. So, and basically, I told Colleen earlier, we were kind of chatting about what we were gonna make, and I told her I was like, I'm basically gonna make a one-eyed, one-horn fly purple people eater. Because why not? That's like as kaiju as you could get almost,
right?
So I'm going for it. More resolution. There we go. One of the chat people, Chrome Colossus, is saying that he couldn't get into 3D until he used VR, which is interesting.
Whoa, that's cool.
It is super cool. I wish I could use VR. I get super sick though.
Totally.
So I struggle. I would love to use the substance modeler, the one that GeoNapkill uses. Man, that thing is so cool, but I cannot. I feel like I'd get so sick using it for so long. I'd go a little crazy.
I think so too. Like, I think you probably have to build up to it, or like kind of build a tolerance almost.
Definitely. But yeah, I get very motion sicky, so I've always tried to kind of avoid them. But it is super cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I feel like that's the biggest like barrier to entry for any kind of VR, even like games, because you have so many people that are sensitive to that type of thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm very curious as to what they'll do to try to make it easier for people like me to kind of, as the technology gets better, I think it will be easier for people that are more sensitive to it. I think so too. Like, it has to just continue getting better, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Well, I've been telling. I actually went and wanted to experience one, but they do a lot of VR escape room now, which I actually think is a really clever way of utilizing that technology. And so I really like that idea of doing the VR escape room with it.
Yeah, that's really cool. My first game studio job was on a VR game, and it was fun. Yeah, it was cool.
See, I've always been worried because I'm like, oh, that means I have to look dev in VR. Maybe I'll get really sick.
Honestly, if you're susceptible to motion sickness, it might not be the best.
Yeah, that's what always has turned me off from, because I've seen those jobs and I'm like, oh, maybe that'd be pretty cool. But then I'm always just like, oh no, I don't think I'd be able to do that.
My husband is a QA tester in games, and he worked at PlayStation as well for a while, and he was a little bit worried about getting put onto VR titles because, like, imagine just like testing a VR game
Right.
all day, like that
All day
sounds
long.
really hard.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, your eyes would get so burnt out if you
Yeah.
did that. Oh, someone said my favorite kaiju is Jormungandr. Is that the Godzilla one? That sounds so familiar.
I think
That
that's
name's really.
Oh, from God of War.
Is that from God of War?
Or I mean Norse
Oh, or
mythology.
the Norse mythology one. You know, we say God of War because that's the most common thing right now to reference. I get you.
You know, it's only from God of War. They
Yeah,
made it
only.
up.
They made it all up. Let's just forget the thousands of years of history. That's funny. Actually, I think my sister, because my dog's name is Fenris, which is
Yeah.
Norse mythology. And I think I don't remember who I told that to, but they went like, oh, like from God of War. And I was like, no, it's from Norse mythology. Not quite. But it made me laugh because I think most people are like that, right? Where it's like, oh,
Right.
the one from video
thing.
game, the pop culture thing, yeah. Which I think it's funny.
Yeah.
One expert is saying, I'm trying to pick up drawing and 3D sculpting. I was wondering if I could be equally good at both. Because I would like to come up with drawing concepts and then bring them to life with 3D sculpting. Sir, I have news for you. If you're new here, I 2D draw and sculpt all the time. And I actually think I think one helps the other, you know?
Absolutely.
You can get good at 2D. Anything that you get good at 2D will very easily transfer over to your 3D work. Absolutely. So I definitely think you should pursue both. I don't. It's hard to figure out when do I take time to do one versus the other. But my advice for that was always, if you feel like drawing, draw. If you don't feel like drawing, don't draw. Do something else. And I think that's kind of the beauty of being able to work in multiple mediums at any given time.
Totally agree. They feed directly into each other.
Yeah. And then when you're bored of one, move on to the other. And then when you're bored of both, go do something else that's healthy.
Go outside.
You know, go outside. Yeah. Go do something.
Go outside either way.
I always feel weird with this advice, but maybe you could agree with me, Colleen, is like, I think it's really important to like draw when you're having fun or like sculpt when you're having fun. Because I think that's what actually will end up building up that habit.
Absolutely.
Because people are like, oh, how do you draw every day? And I'm like, because I like to draw every day. Yep. Like I built up the habit where I enjoy drawing. If you force yourself into like a drawing schedule, I feel like you'll just get so burnt out like so fast.
Yep. You got to give yourself some breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can improve a lot faster by having fun with it and not pushing yourself too crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know. There's a hard balance to strike, right? Where it's like
there is, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't know. There's a balance between having discipline and then burning yourself out. You know.
Right. Well, that's always the struggle that I've kind of encountered. That's why I always kind of am like feel controversial to myself telling students to be like, only when you have fun, because if that's not always the case, right? But for your personal project and stuff, it's good to not feel like you're getting burnt out on anything.
Totally.
Because then that's how you can build up the habit, I think, faster than like forcing yourself until you eventually cause burnout. But yeah, it's very tricky because there totally is a balance between the two. Oh, someone's asking whose screen is who. Colleen's is the one that looks like an adorable Godzilla. And so cute, by the way. Oh my gosh, I love him.
He kind of looks a little bit sleepy right now, but
he looks a little sleepy. That's fine. It's Wednesday night, Yeah. He might not be used to being up these hours. We don't know kaiju hours. It's all good.
It's true. He's getting there.
This could be a little too early for him, He
Yeah.
gets up at like 2
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah.
and
He could
haunts
be
the
a
waters
night
at
owl
nighttime.
kaiju.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Lurks the
definitely.
waters.
I'm giving mine weird fingers. I'm just gonna go for it. See what happens with it. I don't know yet. Or maybe I could give him little spinies that go up. But I am putting him in a skeleton onesie, so
It's gonna be
you won't see it. It's gonna be adorable. I can't wait. I'm gonna make sure. I'm also gonna give him some wings. I gotta make his wings go through.
nice.
Speaking of your Z spheres, I'm actually gonna do that right now.
Nice. Yeah, that's an awesome method.
Z spheres for wings or for anything that's thin and frail is so good.
Yeah, that's kind of like what it's meant for, you know?
Yeah. Well, making like fingers or hands or anything like that is great. Making sure I'm not missing any questions here. So there's lots of people chatting. 1xverse is asking, do we have art stations? I'm pretty sure we both have art stations, or did you take yours down? I could understand if you did.
I thought about it, I'm not gonna lie. Mine's still up there because I refuse to be bullied off of a platform that I spent so much time on. But
I know.
I still have mine.
Okay,
I
awesome.
stopped my premium subscription, but yeah.
See, that's how you stick it to the man.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But
yeah,
it's a lot
we
of
don't have to go into it.
artist things.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I'm just gonna give it 2. Not even gonna worry about it. I'll say that a lot. Won't even worry about it today. Just goal is to complete something. Yeah, so you guys know we're trying to complete these more or less within the time frame that we have. Because as much as I could probably chat to Colleen every week, she is also extremely busy. So we get to have her for this special Halloween, and maybe she'll come back every now and then. You'll see her.
Heck yeah.
I won't hold her to it entirely. But if everyone's just someone on the chat saying, "You got this, Colleen," they're cheering for you.
Thanks.
But yeah, we have an art station. I do have one. I don't think it's updated. So if you want to find me, I'm more at stegoneggs.com. So
it's the best username ever.
Thank you. I'm quite proud of it. I don't think I'll never change it, because even in interviews, I get people being like, "Yo, that website, that's a good name," and I'm like, "Thank you." It's very memorable for people, so
totally.
I keep it. It works.
I always appreciate a good pun and a username.
Oh, I'm all about those puns. So
yeah.
It was too good to pass up. I've been called many things. For some reason, a lot of people used to pronounce my name with an R. They used to say sturgeon, like the fish. And I was like, I don't know where they're getting the R.
There's no R.
There's no R. But people would be always in when I was in school or something, they'd be like, sturgeon? And I'd be like, no, not quite. But, it's a good try.
Yeah. I get some pretty fun spellings of my name at Starbucks.
Oh, I'm sure you do, yeah.
There's a super.
Do you get a W in there sometimes?
Yeah, just like Z's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just throw them in there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, people always ask me whenever I say Ashley, they're like, spelled like, and I was like, no, I'm not the Liegh, Ashley. I'm like, just normal, just no 2 E's. I'm not trying to trick you. That's, it's just the normal stuff here. Our wonderful host Ninja posted our work, so go ahead and check it out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Colleen's awesome. So she's got great work. Obviously, I don't invite bad art people on here.
trying to figure out how to make him look more lizard-like.
I'm used to kind of.
I mean, to be fair, like, Godzilla does look kind of like dog-like in some of his features, but
that is true. He is a really interesting mix. I mean, I guess it depends on which Godzilla you are kind of
true.
referencing.
There's
for
so
that.
many.
There are so many. I think the new Japanese version of him is so interesting because it's so much more like actual monster, like in Shin Godzilla, where he's like this crazy radioactive, like terrifying monster that's like constantly evolving and adapting and moving and wiggling around. It's very cool. Whereas our version's a much more like standard, like American lizard Godzilla,
right.
you know, hero of our city that destroys everything in its path as well, though. But we still love him. We do still love Godzilla. I mean, I'm always a fan.
I remember when I was a kid, I was just playing soccer, you know, as kids do, like in a little like rec league, and my dad was like, "All right, if you score a goal at this game, I'll get you a Godzilla figure." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I got that Godzilla.
Oh yeah, I bet you did. Scored that goal. You were like probably pushing people like it was excuse
like
me, but football, but not, you know, like not real football, not like European football, because that's accurate, but American football, just tackling people.
Yeah.
You're like, I got a goal. You're like, yeah, but you also got like 9 red cards in the process, Colleen.
Like, how is that humanly possible?
Yeah. There's not even 9 kids on the team.
No kidding.
I love that determination. Getting a Godzilla. That's amazing. My mom did something similar, but she made the mistake of I wanted a horse when I was younger.
Oh man!
I got this book about like how to take care of them. It was this giant book about like everything to take care of horses. I must have been like 8, and she was like, "If you read all of it, and I'll get you a horse, and I'll, you know, whatever." She did not think an 8-year-old was going to read that giant book. She was wrong. She was very wrong. And she had to be like, yeah, she was like, oh, no, I have to rethink what I just said to my daughter. She's like, we can't even put a horse anywhere. She's so determined.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
like,
the power, do not underestimate the power of motivation for something you want, man.
If you want it, go for it.
Yep, if you want it bad enough. You build it, they will come. I don't remember what that movie is actually about, besides the dude builds a field.
I don't either.
And baseball people show up. I'm like, is it about like being a good dad? Like, what does he end up learning? Like, I
don't remember.
I do not remember. All I remember is build it and they will come. And I was like, yeah, but why? Like, I don't remember why.
I feel like that's the only thing that people remember from that movie, you know?
Oh yeah. I don't remember anything else. It's your favorite movie. I'm sorry, I don't remember it.
They're offended.
Someone in the chat's like, it's my favorite one. Cute kaijus. Oh, Chrome Costa said, bringing the line of the mouth deeper and deeper behind the eyes will make it more reptilian. Oh, he's saying to like pull it way back, you know, give it like that gator smile, maybe. That's not a bad idea. Someone said you did great on the Last of Us characters.
Thanks.
Someone says Sturgeon would be a cool last name and I should change it. How dares. But then Steak and Eggs wouldn't work.
I know. You gotta prioritize the pun.
Yeah.
The wordplay.
Colleen saying Chubby Dragon from D&D, the classic beast. I like it.
I'm a noob when it comes to D&D. My closest experience has been Baldur's Gate 3, so you'll have to enlighten me.
That's a start. That is definitely a start. We did a whole line of characters on here that were D&D classes. So we did.
Oh, that's awesome.
The druid. God, I'm blanking. The paladin, which was a warrior riding a corgi. I don't know if you saw that one on Instagram or not.
Oh yeah, I did.
That one.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, a little corgi guy. So that was a paladin for D&D. And then I think we did a magician. I'm trying to remember. I don't know why I'm blanking so much on my own stream. I don't even know. I don't remember what I do.
I don't remember what I ate for breakfast.
I don't remember anything anymore. Oh man, he's got some teethers on him now.
Nice. Gotta get the teeth in there.
Gotta get those teeth ones. Oops. I'll give him some, maybe 2 really big front ones. Yeah, I recently just did the alien one, so I'm trying to remember what I did even before that. Oh, I did a bard. I do remember the bard. The bard was really fun. That was like we did an ogre or an orc bard for
That's so
D&D
cool.
stuff.
That sounds super fun.
It's really fun. I love it. And then I printed out the D&D figures. I printed out the
You
one,
have one at home?
Yeah, a 3D printer?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's really
I have
cool.
the Anycubic Photon Mono X something. Whatever it is. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great printer. I have so much fun on it.
I'm definitely thinking about it. I have a bunch of friends that have them.
For the fact that they're so cheap, I think they're so awesome. Oh yeah, he's gonna get buck teeth for sure. That makes him less a little less scary and a little more cute. He's still got some pretty angry teeth, but
they're just for, eating hamburgers.
exactly.
Eating a cheeseburger here and there.
He uses them to carve his pumpkins, okay? He's harmless, I swear.
Just a little hungry, that's all.
He's just a little munchy. Look, he doesn't bite that much, okay? Just a little bit.
An acceptable amount.
Yes. No, I think that's actually the most fun part about doing doing it with somebody is super fun. Because I love bouncing ideas off of other artists or being able to dive into, even if you're making a silly character, it's who is this character and why are we making stuff, or what's funny about it, because it's still designing, right? Even if you're designing something kind of silly, it's still part of what does make that character funny or weird or interesting, or kooky.
Yeah.
And how
putting
to
your
add
own
to that.
spin on it. Yeah.
Yeah. One expert. Someone's asking, how do we learn ZBrush and what art school did you guys go to? They know my story, that I went to Gnomon, hence why we're here. But Colleen, what about you? I think you have a pretty cool story about that.
Thanks. Yeah. I actually got my BFA in illustration, so 2D illustration from San Jose State University in the Bay Area. And the semester before my senior year, I took my final 3D class for the degree that was required for the degree, and I started using Mudbox and ZBrush, and I don't know, something changed for me. It was oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I actually considered switching my degree, or not my degree wouldn't have changed, but my last year of focus, and I ended up just continuing with illustration for the last year, but I did a bunch of sculpts over the summer and during that same senior year, I ended up getting an internship for a 3D character art position right after graduation in 2016, which I was really, really lucky. I went into the interview thinking it's a 2D position, and so I just ended up throwing a couple of my ZBrush sculpts in my portfolio, which were at the time I thought were pretty good. Looking back on them, it's not good at all, but it's kind of they I guess they saw something they liked, and they basically I told them, like, I don't know anything about game art at all. You know, I know a little bit about ZBrush, but not much about actually like the game art process and
like any of that pipeline.
Yeah, and they were like, well, we'll teach you, and literally like that 6-month period, I learned just so much from them. And
that's so cool to me. That's so amazing that they were like, yeah, we saw the potential, and then they were just decided to like teach you on the job, which is super
crazy.
Cool.
I'm so grateful for that. I wouldn't be where I am without it. And that was an awesome team too. I really loved working with them. That was at a company called Linden Lab. They're based in San Francisco. That was a really good times, and hopefully that answers the question. But yeah, I was there for a couple of years as an intern and then as like an associate.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. I love that. I think that's such a good example of like when you find a studio that you can grow in or be allowed to grow in, and how rewarding and how important that actually is to find. Because it's one thing to go say, you know, I want to work on, you know, Naughty Dog stuff, right? Or go work for Sony Santa Monica. It's not that those places aren't probably great for growing and things like that. But I think a lot of other studios get kind of passed on because they're maybe a smaller studio where it's like, yeah, but you actually might have some really good learning opportunities there that you didn't know you wanted, or that you didn't know, you know, you needed, and things like that. And like, yeah, I think it's super important to jump on those opportunities, and they worked out for the better for sure.
I totally.
Your work totally speaks to it.
It's it might feel, I don't know. I just feel like starting at a smaller studio is just better in almost every way, because then you can learn a lot in a short time, and you know, oftentimes you'll learn a lot that you didn't expect to learn, and you can kind of, I don't know, like mature, not only as like an artist but as a professional as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, especially, I mean, being an artist but also being a professional artist is kind of a skill set in itself, right?
Totally.
Because there's a lot of like soft learning, or what do they call it, like soft skills, to be said about, you know, being a part of a team and that kind of communication, and things like that, which is super cool. There are so many people talking. I'm trying to catch up, which is awesome. Super happy to see everybody. Sorry, Colleen and I are always so easy to chat back and forth. But I think someone asked, "Oh, Ashley, your drawings are great. What age did you first start to draw?" I'm trying to remember. Colleen, did you start drawing at like a young age as well?
I think like out of the womb.
Yeah, out of the womb, just like, immediately.
Yeah, like
just like you already had a pencil, like.
I was like, yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I was always drawing. There's definitely pictures of me in like art classes and stuff with my sister, and I always liked drawing. I never knew. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like a lot of kids draw, but I don't think it was till I picked up, I don't know, I was at like Barnes and Noble or something, and there was this How to Draw Dragons book, and I was like, wait, what? You can draw? I don't know. It opened my mind to being like, I can draw anything. I can draw dragons. Like, there was something that didn't happen in my head where I was like, oh, I can do whatever I want. And then I started like making up my own dragons, and I started to be more creative, because before I was like drawing, I don't know, like horses and stuff, and you know, or I would follow like an animal art book with my mom or something, which was always cool. But it wasn't until then where it clicked, like, oh, I can get I can like come up with stuff, where like I started to like unleash that imaginative side, you know.
Totally.
That wasn't until much later.
That's so cool to hear though. Like,
it is super interesting to see like where people come from with that.
Yeah. Like this one thing that like sparked your brain, you know. It's like, I was like hearing that.
Well, it was that, and then it eventually turned into, you know, finding Tara Whitlatch, because I loved animals, and she's probably the number one reason why I found the industry that I'm in, was because I saw her and I was like, oh my god, I want to be her.
Right?
I just want to be her. And I was like, how do I be her? And I was like, oh, she's a creature designer? And I was like, wait, that's a thing that you can get like paid for and you can do as a job? And I was like, hell yeah. And so then, but I didn't discover that until like high school. So then I started trying to draw very seriously for like, I started doing a lot of research on entertainment design and like what concept art is and trying to figure out, you know, like all that stuff. Because I had no idea it was like a whole profession. My art teacher in high school was actually pretty cool because she didn't know what I was doing, but I told her, I was like, look, I can't do the normal assignments. I need to like build my portfolio for creature design. And she was like, I don't know what that means, but you do you. Cause she knew I was really good friends with her and I loved art. And so she knew that I was like trying to do a thing. And so she was really cool where she was like, yes, I'll let you, you know, do this thing.
That's the best.
So that was super cool of her to be like very understanding of like, I really want to, you know, push for this thing. And she's like, I don't know what that is, but you seem to want to do it. So go for it, you know.
That is the best kind of teacher to have.
Right?
You know, like.
She couldn't be a mentor, but she could be supportive. And like, I think that's what I needed the most.
Sometimes that's what you need. Yeah. Sometimes that's what you need at the time, you know?
Yeah. And so that was like super cool for her to be like, yes, you can like go, don't let your dreams be dreams, like go do things, you know.
That is so cool.
So yeah.
See, and like she could have easily been like, no, you need to do the assignment. You know, like she could have been like one of those people, but she wasn't. Like she was like, I trust your judgment and like your interests, you know, like that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she saw that I was very like, I did research and like I knew what I was going for. So she was like, okay, I don't need to get in this person's way. I'm just gonna let her do her thing. Which was super cool. Someone's asking, I'm 17, getting into character art. My dream job is to work at Insomniac Games. Would you say interning is a great way to get into the industry? Yes. Absolutely. I mean, the more you can get in, a lot of people, excuse me, burp. A lot of people kind of, I don't know, sometimes there's people that are like, oh, internships should be paid or this or that. Which is fine. If they're paid, great. But also if they're not paid and you're able to take a non-paid internship at a studio like that, absolutely do it. Because that foot in the door, that networking, that learning that you're going to get being there is so much more valuable sometimes than just like that paycheck. I know it's really hard, but it can be really, really valuable to be able to get in there and kind of do something like that. So absolutely. I think any opportunity like that's a good one, you know. Also going to, you know, conventions and doing the portfolio review stuff that happen a lot. That's always a really nice way to just kind of get an idea, right, for kind of what your work is looking like, or, you know, get some good feedback. What you need is always solid feedback. I mean, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, that's a big one, and like just putting yourself out there and showing up to conventions. Like even if you like doing portfolio reviews is crucial, but even if you just, you know, walk around and like get to know people, like chat with people, like,
say
showing
hi.
your face, like that's a big deal.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I met Colleen because she messaged me after a Lightbox talk and she was like, you're cool. And then I was like, no, you're cool. And that's how that happened. So
that's how it happens.
Definitely just go around and like talk to people. Turns out most people are super friendly. Like we're all pretty human and we want to talk to aspiring artists. I mean, I teach, so it'd be weird if I didn't like to say hi to people that are like, I want to be an artist. Because I literally do it for a job.
Right?
You know? So it is one of those things where I think people are a lot more open. There's might be artists that are shy, but like they're not, you know, they're not mean.
They're not going to, but for the most part, they're not going to be like rude to you. Because like at Lightbox, for example, like everyone's there to like hang out and do that exact thing. Like they're there to talk with fellow artists. Like,
right.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Zach's in the chat. My buddy Zach.
Your buddy Zach? Okay.
My buddy
I didn't
Zach.
see a Zach being like, "Hi, Colleen." He's like, "Awesome to see you."
What's up, Zach?
I got one more Bevel saying a little hello, little wavy wave. Evening. Oh, my buddy Joao's in the chat. Hello. Saying hi, Colleen.
Oh, hey, what's up?
We need more. I keep telling him I keep needing to make some. I need to make some custom emojis for this stream, so that way they can just like, I don't know, mash a Godzilla button or something.
Yeah.
Gotta come up with something. Oh yeah, we're going spiral colors now. That's too late.
Oh yeah.
You
can't argue with the purple and the yellow, you know.
Dude, it's a good combo. You can't go wrong with it. I don't need to make his teeth yellow. That's okay. I love adding colors so much.
Nice. It makes such a difference. Like even just the poly paint pass, it's a big deal.
Yep.
I think I might do this.
Well, I want it because I want to. Yeah, go ahead. Add that poly paint because I want to add the poly paint, and then I actually really like this accidental like pink nails on him.
Yeah, it's a good color.
Like, I kind of dig it. But yeah. Well, because also I wanted to poly paint him because I'm gonna put his little onesie on top, and then I gotta put his face paint. So we're getting into it.
I had like grand ambitions for this. Like I was thinking like I could put him in Marvel's designer and like make like patterns and everything for him, but I don't know if I'll have time for that. But
if we had time, I mean, you could do it right now. Throw that.
I guess I can do it now.
You could throw that ghost sheet on him, and you know,
that would look really cute.
It would just be so cute. I love the idea of you doing this like crazy awesome sculpture, and then just throwing like a giant sheet on it and being like, "I did it!" Like, it's so funny to me. It makes
that
me
would
laugh.
Be so.
I think you should do it because I think it's hysterical.
I think I will now.
Later, I mean, I know you won't be able to probably get it for the stream, but like if you did like scales and like detailed the shit out of it, and then you can post that, but also just post it with sheet on top and be like,
totally.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's my jam.
That's so funny.
I love that. I think I might. Oh no, he's gonna be wearing a onesie. See, I keep wanting to like start detailing his anatomy, and I'm like, he's wearing a onesie. He's not gonna be. You won't see it.
Yeah, that's
I
the
keep
like.
reminding myself.
That's the instinct. Is to just like detail time.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's the most. I mean, gosh, that's always the most fun part, especially when it comes to like when I do creatures and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I have to. I want to give him his tail is visible. I need to give him a really weird tail. I decided. He's a kaiju. He doesn't have weird enough stuff yet. I'm gonna give him like a weird, I don't know, like flower hand. What's that monkey that's like from Pokemon that has like, is it Mankey with like the weird hand tail? Yeah, I don't know why it's Mankey.
I'm not up on my Pokemon, unfortunately.
That's the latest I know. Like Johto League is like the level I'm at. I know like the original 150. That's as far as I go. So no worries there. Oops, I am pressing also.
What are you guys thinking for Godzilla's eyebrows here? Like I have like kind of like cute. Switch. You got the kind of sassy eyebrows, and you got the kind of like you know. Which one do you think? Sassy.
I think you should gift between the two of them so he does an eyebrow raise. Yeah. Dude, that's going in the. If we could get that would go in the chat immediately. Just the Godzilla eyebrows.
The Godzilla eyebrow.
I think I like the ones that are lowered just because it feels more Godzilla. It still keeps them cute, but it gives them that like, I'm cute but also very angry and determined. Yeah, Chrome Colossus says pensive, which I like. Oh, someone in the chat's asking, well, there's a couple. Have I ever thought of doing a portfolio review live stream? That would be pretty fun. I've never thought of it, but I don't hate the idea or anything. I think that'd be super fun. Yeah. I mean, I give plenty of feedback to my students who I hope like my feedback. If they don't, I'm sorry. Too late. They better like it. So yeah, that could be definitely fun. I mean, I would love that. And then someone else is asking, what's the difference between a concept artist and a character artist? That's a really good question. Do you want to take that one away, Colleen?
Sure. I mean, it is kind of a weird. It's kind of weird terminology, but essentially, usually the term concept artist refers to someone who works primarily in 2D. So they're the ones generating the concepts for the characters. A lot of times you'll have character-specific concept artists, so that would be character concept artist. But concept artist is just kind of like a blanket term to cover anyone who's making concepts for, film, TV, games, animation.
I think in animation, idea makers, right?
Mm-hmm. I think in animation they're actually referred to more as like viz dev artists.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Which means viz dev means visual development. So, yeah, it's one of those things where there is a lot of weird terminology depending on where you go. For sure, it's not always the same. If I have time, I'm gonna make him hold a pumpkin with his weird kaiju tail.
But yeah, and then so a character artist usually refers to a 3D artist who takes the concept and then generates a sculpt, and then also generates the game res mesh so it can run in game, and the textures. And
it's really it's pretty common for character artists in games to usually take that asset all the way through the pipeline, right? Where sometimes in film you might just get someone who just sculpts and does the low res, and then you get like a texture artist, so they texture it, and then it goes down. Someone else is a look dev artist that like renders it. Whereas in games, it seems to be that you kind of take it all the way through, which is what I like about games, because I feel like I get to change up a lot of what I do. It's not always just sculpting or just doing a low-res base mesh. It's kind of, you get to do a little bit of everything, which is fun.
Yeah. And in games, you get to see your work in the game, which is like really special. So.
Yeah, it's super cool. Especially, I mean, I feel like with games, it's so nice because, it's something that players interact with. When I make a creature or a monster and they have to shoot its eyeballs out or whatever it is, like even as silly as that is, it's a cool player interaction that like totally. I get to enjoy, watching people play those games. Or, I mean, for something like Last of Us, obviously you're telling such an emotional story with those characters that you make, and you get to really touch and speak to so many people who have, worked or who have played those games.
Yeah, and it's like
super cool.
It's kind of wild because it's like, oh my gosh, like this character means so much to me because I spent months working on them, but then they get to mean something to someone else as well. It's like pretty special.
And in a different way, right? Which is super cool. Everyone can relate to Ellie as a character or Joel as a character in their own ways, and all the other characters a part of that game. I think that's what makes storytelling so cool in games, is it's so interactive because it's so much based on the player's experience,
For me, that's why I choose games.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's nothing like feeling what the character is feeling, you just have this so much more of a visceral, emotional connection.
Oh, absolutely. Himself is wearing a onesie. Don't go crazy with painting. Can't help it. I just want to try to create a like an underbelly color or something.
Oh, that's always cute.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it also breaks up the It breaks up the monotony of just one color. Like you said, like poly paint can make a really big difference with kind of how the character feels or looks at something. And I always like kind of making a darker one on top. It's a really easy trick to make something look cooler than it is. That's so really true. All it is. Yeah, it's just a trick.
Gradients are just like so OP.
Yep, yeah. They are OP. I've never heard anybody use the term of gradients are so OP. I love that. That's great. But they are. It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I use them in every kind of 3D I've ever done. It's just like, no matter what the style or what the project, it's like a gradient is always a good idea. Speaking of which, maybe I'll start poly painting this guy.
Do it.
And then throw
that cloth on top. You could even use dynamic fabrics to just like lay a plane on top. You might not even have to go into designer for that, and then just poke a hole in it.
Honestly, I've never used the cloth stuff in ZBrush yet.
Oh, really?
So maybe this is a good idea. Well, I don't know if this is a good time to do that.
I mean, it's pretty easy. You just go to the dynamics tab and you just have your plane. When your plane selected, turn on collision, and then you just turn on gravity. You just like run sim and it'll just fall. It's pretty.
All right.
Oh, we should also, Okai Sato, I don't know if he's here, but he usually tells people to save at a given time, just in case of crashing.
I'm kind of compulsive with my saving as well, so.
I am not, which is why I literally have someone on the stream who goes, Ashley, save! And I'm like, oh, you're right. And he always saves me. Quite pun intended there.
One more bubble says...
Stupid folder.
One more bubble says, top games that emotionally destroyed you.
Ooh. That's a good one. Quick save is the enemy. I feel like Bioshock's such a good one. See the head back, that means something, right? That just stands for something there.
I love that game so much.
That's some emotional damage that you get at the end of that game. If you haven't played it, we will not spoil it for you. Go play it. It's a masterpiece.
Please do yourself a favor.
Yes, it's a fantastic game. Other emotional damage ones. I mean, Last of Us, the first one.
Last of Us and 1 and 2, you like easy.
I love the ending where, I mean, it doesn't really spoil anything, but if you've played the game, you know why it's so good is when Ellie just says okay, and like it literally just ends on that note. You're like, oh my god, like that's such an experience. Like it's so good.
Like it's such a short line, but it's just like it destroys.
It is, but it said, well, because what they do throughout the whole game is like that's their code for like, you okay, or like, do you trust me?
Yeah.
Or, you know, so like they have this word where in the beginning it's very like, okay, like it's very standoffish or like whatever. But at the end it's just this like, okay, I trust you. We're just going to go do. And so it has a lot of weight to it because of the way that game was written, which is so cool. Like I love that kind of writing. That writing is my jam.
Same.
It's not a game, but some emotional damage that I loved was the first season of Castlevania.
Oh my
Warren
god!
Ellis. Oh my god, Warren Ellis! It was a gem. Oh my gosh, it's such good writing in there, and the ending is so good.
Friggin' love that series.
It's so good. I love it. Arcane's really good. The ending of that one's really good too. I think there is something pretty well, like when what's his name? I wanted to say Falcone, and I'm like, that is not the right name. That is a gangster name. Silco, yeah, Silco. When he's just like, oh, it was never gonna let them have you. You're just like, oh my god, he does care, and like all these things, and like it's such a beautiful, like dance of duality throughout that whole show.
Totally.
That's super cool. You know, it's like the difference between Piltover and Zahn, and the difference between Vi and Jinx, and the difference between Silco and, you know, Vander, and like the difference between Jason, Victor, right? Like all of it is about that duality, and it plays again and again throughout the whole series. It's so good.
That's a really good way to think about it.
My boyfriend's in writing, so when we sit down, he's like, he goes super into the structure of all the things, and yeah. So when we sat, he never watched it, and then we sat down and watched it, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
He's just like dissecting it.
Oh yeah, he dissects.
You're like
everything.
Freaking out over the animation and the art, and he's like dissecting the story.
Yeah. Yep, that's what makes us such a good team, man. I dissect all the things because he'll call over me and be like, "What's wrong with this? Why does this look weird?" You know, and I'll be like, "Oh, it's these things," and then I'll be like, "Why does this sound wrong?" For writing or whatever it is. So it's super fun.
That's awesome.
You can talk shop. I'm all about it.
Trying to get his eyes.
It's just nerds being nerds. I mean, that's ultimately what makes it. Yeah, it's important. Just let nerds be nerds. What a burn. All the creepy quotes from the lore. Love it. Both creatures looking great. Answer the call of the Big Daddy. I don't have a Big Daddy figure, and I feel like I should. That's a shame on my part. I should get one of those. And then whenever I go, oh, I should get one, I also go, I could also make one. Like, once you have the power of the 3D printing, you're like, anything. You can make anything.
Amazing power.
I have such a list, though, of things. And I'm like, do I have time? That's actually the hardest part about being a 3D artist who also wants to draw. That you're like, oh, I could 3D print and sculpt, but you're like, oh, but I also want to learn this thing. Oh, but Marvelous Designer's cool. Oh, but Blender does this cool stuff. Oh, but that, and it's just like a forever line of things.
Wanting to learn things.
Just endless learning. Very frustrating, but very fun at the same time. Because you're like, I want to learn all the things, and then you're like, you don't have time for that. You gotta pick one of the things, and you're like, but I want to do all. But all
of them.
If I could have clones of me and then absorb their information when the day is done, man.
I think that's the whole premise of of Severance, right?
Is that the whole premise? Yeah. I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh gosh, it's so. Speaking of emotional damage,
is that emotional damage? All right. That's on
can't recommend
on Apple,
it
though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been told that that's the sole reason I need to get Apple. Just to watch that. Although there is Prehistoric Planet.
Ted Lasso.
I've heard. Okay, I have watched some of Ted Lasso, but I was like, Prehistoric Planet's where it's at, though.
That's true.
Dinosaurs. All right, it is making onesie time. I'm gonna go for it. Thankfully, that shouldn't be too crazy. I'm just going to duplicate what I have and. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be adorable. Oh, someone's agreeing that Severance is the best. I gotta give it
my favorite shows from last year.
All right, I gotta give it a try because shows are hard for me to always get into just because they take so much time because there's so many episodes sometimes.
It's a commitment.
But it is, and most of the time I'm disappointed. So I just I'm very choosy about what I go for now because I'm just like, man,
I get it.
I could be rewatching Castlevania. And right. I'm like, yes, that's a good use for the fourth time. I was like, dude, Spencer, what's his name? Spencer Spawn or Spencer something. He's the animator or the storyboard animator. God, his animations of the whips and the fight choreography. Dude, that I don't even need the sound. I could just watch that, It's just so good.
It's too good. Did you see Nocturne, by the way, the spinoff?
I have not yet watched that one. I've been worried because it's not Warren Ellis. That's my only fear. Was it wasn't Warren Ellis? And I was like, oh, is it gonna be as good?
I think it's good. The art is insane. The art
See,
is insanely good.
that is why I want to watch it. Is because the art and the the animation and everything looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks
art and animation
top.
wise, it's really good. I think you could debate on the story, but like I still really enjoyed the series. Like
it's probably one that I'll put on, in the background while I'm
that'd be perfect.
working a bit if I have like a chill day. I'm gonna make his onesie a little too big, so I want to try to make it drag on the ground.
Oh, that's perfect.
This hood doesn't quite fit.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't it cute? I gotta make a kind of like pointy little hood thing.
I'd be friends with him. I'd be a
I
little
know.
nervous, but I'd be friends with him.
I think he's worth it.
Yeah, worth the risk.
Yeah, he's worth the risk of a potential bite. He's harmless. I mean, I could easily turn him into Grim Reaper, but I'll do the skeleton. I'm getting Grim Reaper vibes too, and I'm like, man, it's so hard.
Yeah.
There's so many good costumes. I was tempted to make him. I was telling Colleen that I was tempted to do like the lion's mane that like they put on babies, Then it would be like around his face. I think that would be pretty funny. Perhaps a cropped hoodie for the added cuteness. Perhaps. Cropped hoodie would be, dude, Godzilla in a cropped sweater. That would kill me. His like with his belly button hanging out, dude.
If I had time, if I had time, I wanted to actually dress him up as Spider-Man because I've been playing Spider-Man, and like have kind of like the cheesy like hoodie, like cheesy costume, like.
The one that's like a little too big and kind of like mangled for his face.
Yeah. Or like it's too small and like you can see his belly,
I would love that. Oh my god, yes.
If I had time, I think I would.
I think even if it's not finished on the stream, you need to see that vision through. Again, don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah.
I want to see Godzilla with his little spider pood hanging out. It'd be so great. Full friggin' circle. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Hey, that's what I'm all about on this stream. You've been here, one more bevel. You know that's what I'm like. Can't help it. Might have time to make that pumpkin. We'll see. Good music going on. Very chill vibes. I didn't really notice it because we've been talking the whole time, so we're just like, have you seen this thing? Blah. Oh my god. That's what happens when you put nerds in a quote-unquote room together. Just, emotional damage. Let's talk about it.
Like how we just
trying to think
like,
of other games.
examples.
Oh, Cyberpunk's a really good one.
Oh, I haven't finished that one yet.
Ooh, gotta finish that one. That's up there for me as far as story stuff, along with like Last of Us. That's some top tier story going on.
That's good to hear.
Well, plus Mantis Blades. Who doesn't love that?
I mean, couple.
I mean, I went monowire, which is actually super OP. It's amazing. You just like
what is it?
Whip everybody to death.
Oh, nice.
It's a wire that comes out of your wrist, and then you just Indiana Jones people, and it's amazing. It's so so fun. Yeah, it's great. So I highly recommend.
I think once I finish Baldur's Gate, I will get on that because like for the
It's
longest
such a fun
time
to finish.
I like stopped playing like open world games because I was like they seem very like intimidating. I don't know, time wise. So
They are, yeah. Although Cyberpunk has such a solid story. I mean, if you just went around and did the story, I feel like it wouldn't be too bad. I think I beat. Yeah, I mean, it is some dedication, but I think I beat it in like 40 or 50 hours.
That's not bad.
And story wise, like that's with like completing both side quests and everything.
Mhm.
But I feel like once you start getting into that game, you don't want to stop. Like you do want to keep just doing side quests and going.
I think that's what I need to do is just like get started, you know?
Yeah, the moment you get started.
Because I mean, Baldur's Gate is just huge as well, and I've sunk tons of time into it lately, so I think it's definitely given me the itch for open world games again.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be super fun to play. Because I haven't played the DLC because I finished it and then they did that huge update. And so I'm like, oh, I need to give myself some time before diving back into that.
For Cyberpunk?
For Cyberpunk, yeah.
Nice.
I was like, I need to kind of like forget it for a little bit and then
totally
remember it. I gave him a little zipper in the front here.
Oh, that's so cute!
Isn't that cute? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I probably have to mess up the back to give it a tattered clothing look. The shittiest job we'll see yet, but it's okay. Look, tattered clothes, it's a whole thing to make, and I'm not about to go crazy with it, but I'll make it look like he kind of splayed his tail through. He figured it out.
That's cute.
I like the hanging cloth in the front. I don't know what it is about making it droopy that makes it cuter. I'm not sure where that is in my brain, or like why in my artist head I'm like, yeah, that's better. I'm not sure where I'm getting that. I don't know if it's because like maybe because babies sometimes wear larger clothes or something.
It is interesting to like analyze sometimes, like why is this cute, or like why is this appealing? You know?
Right. No, I think that's like a whole thing that I love to think about when it comes to like not only when I'm like watching stuff and like, you know, absorbing entertainment or whatever it is. I definitely do that where I'm like, why do I like XYZ thing? But even when I'm, you know, doing my own sculpts, I'm just like, why do I like this shape? Like, what is it about it that made my artist brain go like, ooh, yeah.
Yay.
Right? Yay, yeah. Like this little like blinky light bulb turns off and your brain's like, give me more of that, you know? And you're like, okay. But you have to be like, yeah, but why? So that way later you can actually make like a smarter decision about it.
Totally.
Right? So it is super interesting to see. I gotta start painting some One more Bevel says he feels like Baldur's Gate piecemeals their depth quite well. I haven't played and someone also said Witcher 3 was pretty good on story.
Witcher 3.
I haven't played either one of those, so I gotta get on it. I know. I'm behind on the Witcher 3. I'm behind on Witcher 3. I gotta.
One of my top 5.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's up there for sure.
I'm gonna definitely have to. I gotta catch up on games. Right now, I'm actually playing Dark Souls for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've never actually played that series.
I've always been so scared to play it because it's so intimidating, and it is hard. Will not lie to you, it is hard. It's the most frustrating game I've ever played. But that being said, like if you do anything or you get somewhat far in it, like you don't even have to get that far, I guess, but like appreciating the level design in that game is insane. Like the way everything connects to like everything else, and how it all loops back to like a certain spot, and you're like, whoa, this goes back to here, and like this does this thing, and like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. They're
I'll have
like
to check it out.
It's funny because a lot of people that talk about it, they actually say that the level design is a lot closer to like a Metroidvania
Oh, interesting.
than it is like what you would consider like an open world, which I actually thought was a pretty interesting way to look at it, because I never thought of it that way. Until someone said it, and I was like, you know what? It actually is. It's super, super like a Metroidvania. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, that alone makes me very interested to keep playing and finishing the game.
Yeah.
Just because the level design is insane. It's very hard, but level design is super good.
Yeah, I mean, the art and especially for like Bloodborne has always interested me.
Victorian era, I mean, you can't really go wrong.
I know.
Eldritch horror, Victorian styled stuff, like that's a jam.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my thing, like, oh man.
Someone did say you could just watch somebody, you know, play Dark Souls, and that is very true. I wanted to experience it. It's my boyfriend's favorite game, so I was like, I feel like I owe it. I was like, I want to play it. And he always comes in and he's like, did you get to this part? Did you know the thing? I call him my summon because he helps me out on things where he's like, did you do this thing? Did you do this yet?
Summon your familiar. Cool. Yeah.
I have some reference of like the skeleton costume, and I realized how anatomically wrong some of them are, and it makes me laugh. Like some don't even have like a pelvis. A lot of them have the rib cage connect just to the front and not to like, it doesn't go all the way around to like the back. And I'm like, but that's like where it goes. I love his painting, by the way. Dude, those gradients. Those gradients are good. Those
the gradients.
OP. He's so cute. Oh my god.
Thank you.
I need to sculpt these guys. Or not sculpt, print them when they're done.
Someday. That would be cute to have him on my desk.
Dude, I want Chubby Godzilla on my desk 100%. All the way, yes. That would be amazing.
Okay. Maybe I will try the cloth.
Yes. Cloth. I mean, for a sheet, you would just have to put it big, put it over him, and just be like, do the thing. Save just in case. I'm always paranoid about that shit. But
I save constantly.
Yeah. Okay, good. I don't, so I'm just really bad at it.
I've learned the hard way so many times, you know. Here, I'll put it closer to him so it doesn't have.
That's true. Although ZBrush for a while got really good at saving for me, so then.
That's nice. So you got
but then I got bad.
Complacent
I
about
got
it.
bad at it. Yep. I gotta figure out how to make his.
Okay.
I'll just make this cut.
This is the Watch Colleen Learn Something New stream.
Woo! Don't be afraid to learn something new. She's just doing it. Yeah, if you go to the it's up in the top. If you follow alphabetically, it'll be dynamics, and then you can pop that tab open. And see, I'm teaching Holly. Yay!
Yay!
Artists helping artists.
I don't see it. Guess I'm blind.
The dynamics on the upper in the
up there, upper. Okay, there we go.
Whatever that is, that tab thing.
The top.
There you go.
Toolbar?
There it is. Yeah, toolbar.
Cool.
Whatever that is. I had the word in my head. I couldn't find it.
So you just hit run simulation?
Yeah, you could turn on collision. See that collision volume button up at the so just click that, and then it should turn on. So anything that's not selected will now be a collision object, and then you just say run, and gravity should already be on. Don't be scared.
Save it.
And then some magic should happen.
Bloop.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
He's so scary.
Dude, that fell
Okay,
almost
got it.
perfectly. I actually
know.
love that.
Love-
And you can
I'll
actually
div this up a bit.
yeah, you can subdiv it up a bit more. Oh my god. I have to pause mine because I want to watch it. Oh, look at it go. He's a ghost.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I love it. It
Oh,
will
it's
keep
very
I think there's
stretchy.
it's super stretchy. I think there's an elastic, dude. I love it though. It's so good. I think there's an elastic. Oh, actually you can turn the gravity down probably.
Hmm.
It's set to like 10, which is too high.
Ooh,
You can put it
okay.
to like
Let's do 5.
2 or 5 or yeah, like have it and should be
There we
fine.
go.
Oh yeah. Dude. It's so cute. I love it. Looks like a slime monster now. Yeah, it's awesome. That's the secret.
See, I'm gonna drop the gravity down a little bit more because it seems it's behaving like a nylon type of.
Oh yeah.
This
I
is
like
cool,
the
though.
music though with it. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's pretty effective.
I know.
It's super effective.
I mean, I love Marvelous Designer, but it's nice to do something simple like this.
Yeah. Well, when you need something like as simple as a sheet going on top, you know,
Right.
you can't kind of just get away with that. That looks great though. That is so
Thanks.
funny. I think his hands positioned and like the way you place the plane, like it fits so well. It's
Kinda
so
works.
good. Oh yeah, no, it totally works. I can't wait
Okay.
for you to poke little holes in there because it was so good.
Let's see if I can find his little eyeballs.
Look, Colleen's gonna finish faster than me now.
Well, I did cheat a little bit.
I realized that when I gave him, 3 other eyeballs, I'm like, oh, he has to paint his skull on his face. And I'm like, what does that look like now?
His own? Oh. He looks
See,
really
it's
cool.
You guys a little face paint?
Nice. That looks so sick. I love it. So cute, dude. So cute.
So fun.
Oh, Mel is here. My buddy Mel.
Oh, it's
Christy name.
Christy Chunks.
Christy Chunks.
I like that. I like that name. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's very memorable.
It's very Krusty Chunks is very memorable. I think I need to give him his paint his eyes now. Whoops, that is not the color. I want to do orange.
There's a trend where people with dogs do like a little sheet on the dog.
Yes,
and then they leave the nose out. So I'm gonna see if I can find some reference of that.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that idea a lot.
Thanks, guys.
I love hearing the fast little typing. That's good.
It's my little
some ASMR while we're at it.
Keyboard. I'm not about the mechanicals, just poisonally.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's just me. Oh,
I have one, and I think I got used to the way it sounds because it makes I feel like more because I'm not a very fast typer, and so I feel very assured that I'm hitting a button when I hear it very.
Yeah,
clearly.
I can see that.
Yeah. You just look at adorable dog pictures now.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. There's probably some pretty great ones in there.
There are. They're so good.
Chrome Claw saying is that skeleton paint is mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. I didn't know if it was cool to say chef's kiss or if it was cool to chef's kiss. I'm not sure what's the cooler.
I
don't
think
know.
saying
I'm
it is
not
more meta.
Is it more meta? Okay. I did it and I was like, maybe it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
I'm actually curious because we've got some time left.
Oh
I
my
might
God,
throw him.
Oh, he's so cute. I love it. Oh my
I
God.
feel like he has like a very earnest look on his face where he's just like, this is my costume.
Yeah.
You like it,
I was
guys?
like,
You know?
check it out. It's so
Yeah,
good.
look at
You gotta make him stomp forward or like stomp
Yeah.
around a little bit.
like, am I scary, guys?
I like the idea that he'll probably fall off if he doesn't hold it like that. Like,
Oh,
I just like the idea
absolutely.
that he's kind of awkward in it because
Yeah,
he's like, this is my
absolutely.
first costume.
Yeah,
My first
he's like, am I
Halloween."
doing it right?
Yeah.
I might throw this into Marvelous just to see what the difference is.
I would be curious, and I'm
Definitely
sure everyone
mistakes.
on the stream would love to see the magics of Marvelous.
It's pretty magical.
It is super magical. He knew she could do it. We knew he could do a cloth simulator. Piece of cake.
I learned a thing.
You
Things
made
are always
something
scary before you know. Yeah. Things are always more scary before you do them, you know. Before you
Yeah.
learn them. It's always like easier than you thought.
Oh yeah. Well, I think also it's one of those things where like with the 3D knowledge. Oh, that's why it looks weird. Ashley, you're so stupid. I wasn't painting with pure black, and I was like, why is it not?
Oh, yeah.
I need contrast. And it just was like not do its thing. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like when you even entering into other 3D programs, it's actually kind of cool to know a lot of 3D programs because when you try to jump into something else, you're like, I think I might get this, you know, and you try and you're like, oh my God, I think I get it. And it's very nice to know that like jumping and diving into something new doesn't always have to feel super scary.
Yeah, I think the more software you use, the more literate you probably feel trying something new.
Oh, absolutely. The more and more programs that I consume, you know, they only make me stronger. Which is nice. Especially with like normal 3D programs now, like I could probably open up most, and now it's just a matter of like, all right, where's the button? Like I know you do the thing.
Yeah, you're like, I know this exists.
It's just a lot of Googling at that point, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's see if I can see if I even have a Marvelous Designer license anymore.
Oh, that would be fun.
Well, whatever happens, at least I have my.
I mean, you got
sheet.
It's done.
Now I'm just doing like extra credit now.
Yeah, now it's just about getting sheet done. Get it?
Sheet happens.
Sheet happens. I feel like this is why they were like work from home is more productive because it's just character artists sitting next to each other making stupid puns all day while sculpting. They're like, Ashley, you're more productive if you're not around people. So we're gonna send you home. And I'm like, but I got more puns.
I do find I'm very productive at home. Just because it's like, well, I don't know. Then there's cats, you know. Like,
there's cats, yeah.
Yeah.
There's dogs.
I do miss
have
the
my
office
dogs.
vibe.
I definitely miss office vibes. Like this part of office is super nice, and I miss being able to talk.
Totally agree.
Artists.
It's nice, like
it's also so much harder to learn from people when you can't just like see what they're doing, and you're like, oh, what are you doing, Bob? And then they're like, I'm doing this thing, and it's just cool.
Hey, how the heck did you do that? And then they're like, oh, this thing.
Yeah, they're like, let me show you, and you're like, oh, cool, and you learn something. Whereas everyone's so siloed, you know, when you work from home.
Yeah, kind of separated.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty proactive with asking people like, "Hey, how'd you do that thing?" But
Yeah,
it's so
it's a really
much
healthy.
harder.
It's a really healthy way, like mindset to have, you know.
Yeah, I always told in interviews, and that you guys can steal this if you want, but I always tell people I want to be the stupidest person in the room because, like, at a studio, I want to be surrounded by people that can teach me something.
Agreed.
Because, like, I constantly want to grow. Like, if someone's better than me at something, like, I want to watch them do what they're good at, you know?
Totally
And that's
agree.
how you're going to learn so
That's
fast.
that's how you elevate, is by
Yeah,
being around other people that are better than you.
right. And being surrounded by my dogs, like, that's great and all, but I don't get to. I feel like I don't get to be as active, you know, with that stuff. Oh, there she is. There he is, little bonkers in Marvelous. Yeah, Chrome Class says it's nice to have an audience of peers. It is, because then also you can get like feedback, you know, almost immediately too, which is really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and sculpt a pumpkin. He's gonna hold it in his hand, his tail hand, his weird tail hand.
I don't know why this ended up being so small.
He's oh my god,
He's very small.
He's so tiny.
Hmm.
You could change the scale on him, but then you'd have to change. Then you just have to scale down your fabric when you bring it in back into.
Let's see.
Which is not the end of the world. You can totally do it.
Is there a way to change the scale of an avatar when he's in?
See, I think I tried to do that and I couldn't remember. See, these are things. Now you're getting like industry talk, you guys.
Yeah.
Now you're getting
just
like
trying to figure out what
people just being like,
on.
"How do you do the thing? Tell me how to do it."
Okay, get it? Slightly bigger now.
Slightly bigger?
Yeah. He was in the floor though, so.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'll have to just eyeball it.
Whoa, that's a lot of transformations there. Okay. Nope, wrong way. I'm trying to get radial symmetry to work for me. There we go. Because that's the easiest way to sculpt a pumpkin.
Ooh, I want to see this.
Boom, pumpkin, done.
Oh, that's so sick. I've never used that function. There's so much I just don't.
Dude, there's so much that I don't do either, but the radial symmetry gets pumpkin done for sure.
That's awesome.
All you gotta do is sculpt one side.
It's literally meant for sculpting pumpkins.
It's literally meant for pumpkins. Yeah, it's meant to be the pumpkin. They actually should have called it the pumpkin brush instead of the
literally should have.
Brush.
Is it a brush? So, is it just a brush? That's cool.
Yeah, so it's if you go up to transform under activate symmetry. You can turn on this R, which is radial, and you can have as many as you want, and you can do XYZ, so like you can go really bananas with it.
Holy shit.
Now we have got moldy pumpkin. Yeah, I turned up the radial symmetry by like a lot, but if we did 7, like you can make a brain real fast. I just made a moldy pumpkin now. Or one of those weird ones with the knobs. But yeah, it's a great way to do like weird textures and stuff. It's super fun. But that's always a good one. Usually turning on all of these is not what you do. Just turn on, one. And then you're good to go. But yeah, radial symmetry is super cool.
That is really
great
cool.
It's great for making stuff like shields. If you're doing shield patterns and designs.
Or
something that's got a lot of floral. Yeah, super, super useful for stuff like that.
Very smart.
Work smarter, not harder. That's what my instructor always used to say.
Totally agree. Okay, like 4th time's a charm with this.
You might be able to set it. Oh yeah, there you go. He's in. He is good to go.
I think it'd be funny if like the sheet's way too small.
I love that.
Just covers like.
I love that idea. That's great.
Oh. Let's see if my PC.
Oh, someone said, Chrome Colossus said, dogs are cute, but they don't deliver constructive criticism. You need cats for that.
That's so
it's pretty true. It's very true. Not a truer thing has been said on this stream.
Agreed.
Are the triangles for pumpkins upside down usually? Yeah, that's right. I guess it depends if you want it angry or happy. That doesn't feel right, actually. Is it this way? No, it's that way. I couldn't remember. I'm like, which way does the pumpkin? Where does the pumpkin go? It's so funny how much you don't remember when you're trying to remember, like when you're referencing stuff in your head. It's like, do you remember which way the pumpkin smile faces, or like which way the triangles go? And like,
Right?
it's super interesting. I think Ian McKaig always said this, which I loved, because he talks about people talk about using reference and that you should use reference. And the way he talks about it is like, if you can't draw your own face from imagination, then you need reference, because your face is the thing you look at every single day of your life, all the time. And if you can't draw that from imagination, right, then you should use reference for pretty much anything that you are trying to draw.
So pretty much everyone that's like not a master should pretty much just, because that's how you build your brain library.
Yeah, it's the only way to get that library. Yeah, absolutely.
Marvelous Designer is not happy
with me just for a sheet.
I know.
It's like, no. ZBrush was like, whatever, I'll do it for you.
I know. Well, I think I'm happy with that. You know what? I think I will just stick with that.
All right.
I've like simulated way more complex stuff.
I know. That's so crazy that it's like no. I will not accept.
I'm not doing
a plane.
I think it's like this is beneath me.
Yeah. Use your other programs. I don't need you. That's actually really funny that you couldn't get it to work, because it's literally like the most simple thing you could get it to do. It's like the easiest thing Marvelous Designer could do. It's like classic. Nah. Yep. Well, you got a sheet. ZBrush didn't fail you. You gotta add a gradient though to that sheet. You got a color sheet now.
Oh man, the sheet needs a gradient.
Yeah. Dude, you said gradient's OP. Make it OP. I'm trying to finish off just pumpkin. Pumpkin. Is that the? Yeah, that's this one. Oops.
Colleen sighed, yes, I will. Once I do a small experiment.
Eye holes in the sheets, yes.
I think I have all these songs in my chill hop playlist.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Can't go wrong with chill vibes while listening to music. I've actually been doing that more and more often, is just listening to like ambient, like no lyrical, like just completely instrumental.
Really helps focus, yeah.
Yeah, it just helps me focus a lot more. I feel like I stay in whatever zone I want to be in longer. I love music, but it can get very, like, it gets more distracting than you realize, which is really
I agree.
Interesting.
Especially depending on the task you're doing.
Yeah. Like, I love the band Cake, but I'm like, it's actually too distracting. Oh, if his weird little fingers could hold a trick-or-treat bag, I could figure it out. I have his weird tail holding a pumpkin, which that's fine. I feel like I should just pose his tail at this point and like have it wrap around. I have the time. I've had the time from the go. I'm gonna try. I think. Let's see if it breaks in his hands, but Hope it doesn't. We're going to try to use the bend curve tool to get his hand to kind of come around here.
That's cool.
Super easy way to just like pose some. Oh, if it doesn't twist on me and be weird. It does get a little weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Just work with me. It's okay.
Just work.
It'll be okay. Yes. Okay. I'm cool with that. And then I have to find his fingernails. Where'd they go? There. One more Bevel's asking which life tasks require absolute silence for you. Mine would be ironing. That's an interesting one that you need total silence for. Makes sense though. Ultimate concentration to get rid of wrinkles. It is one that I need like total silence for. I haven't thought about that actually. I think I like doing dishes in silence. I feel like it's a nice
meditative
thing. Yeah. I do sometimes like I do try to draw a lot with no music on and just, go outside and listen to, whatever it is that is outside. That's what I used to miss about going to coffee shops so much. It was like I love like the ambiance that it's like white noise because you're not really listening to it. It's just kind of like this weird background, but it's not so distracting where it throws you off guard for anything. You can kind of just focus. I feel like my best sketches and improvements came from drawing at a cafe.
Yeah, it's like there's something about tuning into the vibe of a place, I guess.
Yeah.
Being aware of it.
There's definitely something to it. Got his pumpkin. Little ghosty vibes. He's so cute.
I think to answer the question on how to unwrap it, like if it was a game asset, you would need to retopologize this sheet. I mean, this wouldn't be great for a game anyway, but what's nice is that it's just a big plane, so you can kind of start doing cut-ins for all the folds.
You talk about cut-ins. Maybe people don't know exactly what that is, but I don't know if that's too technical to talk about or not. But
basically, it's if I was to like make this into a game asset, I would essentially need to create more edges to add more resolution to the mesh so that the low poly bakes properly, bakes all the high res information properly.
Because it's very jagged right now,
mm-hmm.
right? And so it's not gonna. Yeah. That bake would not look very pretty. You'd definitely be able to tell in game if that was your low res asset, right?
I mean,
sometimes old games get away with it. That's fine.
True. They did a lot with a little, that's for sure.
They did, dude. They did some amazing stuff. My boyfriend recently replayed Final Fantasy VII. I mean, Cloud is like 8 cubes, just stacked properly to be like the coolest looking character you've ever seen.
No kidding.
Like,
he's just like pure character design. Like pure
He
silhouette.
really is like pure awesome silhouette, and their animations are so good with what they do with so little, like the little shrug, or like Barrett like waving his fist, you know, and it says so much with so little. Look at that, you cut little holes in. Are you using like morph target or layers to? Oh, you're using the UV wrap thing.
Yeah, that was just morph UV because someone wanted me to unwrap the sheet. UV unwrap the sheet.
Well, there you go. UV unwrapped.
I always feel the same way about like Crash Bandicoot or Jak and Daxter. Like the animations for Jak and Daxter, especially the first one, were just insanely just like so good, and everything was just down to like the essential, just highest impact, lowest budget. Not I don't want to say lowest budget, but like I guess in terms of
it is
low
count, budget. Yeah, you're right. You're totally
it's
right.
Like the most efficient way, you know.
I'm a true believer, and we've talked about this before on many things, where it's like I think those limitations is like what makes good games. Like, not that good games don't come out now. We don't have as much limitation with things, but when you do run into a limitation in whatever you're working on, like I think it's important to embrace that limitation and find like an efficient or smart workaround, because like that's what makes all that stuff so good. You know, in the movie Jaws, the shark didn't work half the time, so they came up with the yellow barrels, right? And the yellow barrels actually make the movie so much more suspenseful, right? So it's like they played to their limitation, and they found a very creative way to be like, hey, we can't show this shark that much, so like what should we do now, right? And I think that's such an awesome creative, like it's a very creative approach, which I think is what you need for that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I think there's like a quote where it's like adversity breeds like creativity, or it breeds like innovation. Like did you watch the ILM documentary on Disney Plus? I think it's called Light and Magic.
I have not watched that yet.
It's so good, and it's so
I'll have to watch
like,
that one. Yeah, that sounds super good.
It's exactly that, like what you were just saying, where it's just like they had to do this thing in this amount of time, and they'd never, ever, no one had ever done it before.
No one ever done it before.
We're gonna do it.
But I think that's what's so. ILM is like really has been the forefront of. I mean, they really are the industry of light and magic. Like that's. Their name really does hold up for everything that they've done over the past, however many years they've been doing stuff, because they're pretty much the forefront of any technology that we can think to use, that we use now.
Yep.
Which is pretty insane. Also, Okai Sato is saying you should make little buildings around him, which, yes, just insert some cubes in there, and we can probably call it done pretty soon here.
Yep.
Man, 2 hours goes by so fast.
I know, right?
Time flies when you're having fun with friends.
Yeah.
I realized I didn't paint the bottom of his jaw, so more face paint. I gotta do that. I've never put face paint on, so this is my first time dressing up my kid to go to Halloween.
Aww. Here. They grow up so fast.
I know. They really do. In 2 hours, he's gone.
I know. Wow.
He's got
crazy growth spurt.
Right? He started from like a wee little ball. Here he is now, off to go hunting with his Godzilla friends.
Yeah, they're gonna have some fun.
Love it. Oh my god, you're in the little lights. Oh, I love it.
I was like,
So
how else am I
cute.
gonna make this a building?
Yeah. I
It
love
still
it.
looks just like a weird
No, it totally. The
spotted
moment you
something.
put a bunch of them together with Godzilla, I also love. I just noticed that his sheet perfectly reveals his belly button. So that's
I
that.
did not intend that, but that's
It's like
perfect.
that is a full circle. Oh man, I love it. So fun. Those are so cute. I love those buildings so much.
They kind of look like toys.
See, you're so creative. It's so creative. Because I would have just put on, I'm like, yeah, square buildings. Like, here's your gray model. Here you go. But you were like, no, it's nighttime. This is like some Batman Beyond vibe with some like little lights. Oh man, so good. So good.
I like how I just like imagine him just showing up to the city with like the other like cryptids. And he's just like, look what I got, guys.
You know, like, hey guys.
And the city's just like freaking out, and he's just like here there to have a good time on Halloween.
Right.
He's like, all right, where's the candy?
He's so ready. Oh my god, so cute. Dude, these turned out so fun. This was so much fun.
Yeah, they did. I still like
it's nice to on this stream I normally, I work on a character once a month. It's kind of nice to like,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to just like do one, for a stream and just see where it gets you with like, whatever you have, which is super cool.
I think it forces you to kind of like make decisions fast. Because normally I sit there for months and work on something, so it's kind of nice to do something fast for fun.
Well, I think it brings you back to like, I don't know, it feels like a kid playing with clay or like Play-Doh, where it's just like, yeah, I just am gonna do, just doing my thing.
Yeah.
Which I think
less pressure,
nice.
Like just having fun.
Yeah, there's no pressure to do it really well, because like, what can you do super well in 2 hours? It's not really about that. It's just about being fun and creative and like letting loose that cool energy, especially when you're doing it with someone else. Like, this is super fun to do with someone.
Yeah, agreed.
I had a blast. I'm just adding some little spikes, I think we'll call it. I don't know what happened to the tops of those, but we won't talk about it. We'll just smooth it out.
That's what the smooth button,
there we go. Now they're ready to go trick-or-treating together.
Yeah, super cute. Boo.
It's so fun also to see like the difference in like, I always enjoy whenever drawing with someone or something like that, the coffee table or whatever it is, like what's the style or what do people like to draw in, or what's like your comfort zone, what's not your comfort zone. Like, it's so fun to see artists experiment and just kind of like go for it and see what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of like you give like a room of artists the same prompt, and like every single one of them will come up with something like different,
Oh yeah, if we had just like 10 artists doing this with us, we would get such a cool variety of of things. Oh, Krusty Chunk said candy corn spikes. I didn't even think of that, but 100%. It's like it's meant to be. Oh man, now I need to paint them like a candy corn, which I think is white at the bottom. Or is it white at the top? See, here we go again.
I despise them, so I wouldn't know.
I don't remember what the candy corns look like. I think they're white at the bottom and they get more saturated at the top, but I can't remember. Now I gotta Google it. Chrome Claws testing will we be putting together in a scene next week. Colleen can hand me her file and I will definitely put them together, but I'm also gonna get her to send me her file so I can 3D print them.
Yeah.
And then they'll sit on desks together. White tip, yellow, orange. Okay, so it is white. It's white, so it's the other way. Got it. Thank you, Colleen. Collin's also, if I think it's the Colleen that I know, it's one of my students. So thanks for tuning in, student. So proud I know my students' names because I have a lot of them this term.
Nice. How many classes are you teaching?
I'm teaching 2, so now I have about 30 plus students.
Wow, nice. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
How long have you been
They're all
teaching at Gnomon?
awesome. Over a year now. I can't believe it's been that long. Yeah, it's crazy. Because I started last year term prior, so this is like my 5th term in, which is cool.
Wow, rad.
So rad. So rad. All right, we are coming up on time here. I really wanted to get these white tip candy corns in. See, I'll just keep talking until I'm like, yeah, I'll be done now. Ah. We're getting it though. There we go. Ta-da! All right, now he's got candy corn tips. There you go. All right. All right, I'm good with that one. Super cool. Well, I think we're going up on time. So, yeah, this was super fun, Colleen.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you so much for joining me. It makes me sad that you need to come back for sure. And definitely
will be more than happy to.
The legendary belly button. I love it. I love it. Yeah, please join again for something. It's nice to, I love talking to the chat, but it's also so nice to talk to another artist, and you're awesome.
Yeah.
So follow her, and if you guys didn't know about her, now you know about her. She's super cool. And yeah, we did our little Halloween things. So, Colleen, if you have anything last thing to say of, anything in the chat.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom, yes.
I don't know. Like my go-to is always just like do what you love to do and pursue that. And if you don't know yet, try different stuff.
To end on the best note possible, don't let your dreams be dreams. That's it.
That's been the theme.
That's the theme. Halloween and don't let your dreams be dreams. Yeah. Let's do it. Awesome. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Wednesday. Again, I'm Ashley. This is Colleen. Hopefully you'll see her again. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
I would love to do more of these. These are super fun. So, all right. We're going to peace out now. Thanks for watching, you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.